New year, fresh slate. Okay, so this is the first chapter of One Piece of 2018, and I gotta say, honestly, for starters, before we even get into the content, let's talk about a lot of what people are complaining about, because I think it was about 3 chapters ago or a month ago, somewhere along those lines, we just had a break on One Piece, which Oda usually gets a break every few chapters. It's like every 4 or 5 chapters, Oda gets a break, and then so on and so forth, but this one is a little bit closer. A lot of the fandom I've seen, because I like to do my due diligence, see if everybody is on board with me, or if they nay, you know, what type of backlash I'm about to get after I come up in here with my opinion. But I'm looking at it, and one of the big things people are talking about is people are really angry about this latest break that's coming up. I think one of the reasons is definitely that we just started the year and this is the first chapter and we're already getting a break, but also it's because we had a break not that long ago, so people are like, well, what the heck's going on? These breaks are coming closer and closer. So, you know, I would personally look at it as, and again, a couple things. One, I care about Eiichiro Oda, the creator of One Piece. I care about his health more than I care about One Piece. I'm sorry. I care about the man's health and physical capability than I do and his mental stability. That's the biggest thing, you know what I'm saying? If he has a mental breakdown, we're all fucked. No more One Piece, period. So I care more about his health just above this series in general. Like, this man, he's a married man. I believe he has kids, if I'm not mistaken. Like, no, he needs to get his rest. So I definitely agree with these breaks all the time. Not to the extent of, you know, like if it gets to like Yoshihiro Togashi level where Oda's going and giving us 4 chapters a year, then I'll say, okay, this got ridiculous. This is really, really bad. But it's not at that level yet anyway. But yeah, people are really upset about that. Moving on though, we have the beginning of the chapter where it's focusing in on another one of the siblings of the Charlotte family. I guess, again, new year, new plot device, shall I say. I guess she kind of played narrator in a way to this, but in a very biased way, because, you know, she's not her brother, but also is giving some backstory, which I'm hoping that a lot of the Charlotte family members that are getting backstory, they actually are pivotal things as well. They're not just gonna be like, hey, let's find out about this character that doesn't fucking matter in the grand scheme of things. Like, yo, nah, I'm good on that. You can keep that one for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want that. I want actually, if they're gonna be explained and we're gonna get some of their backstory and find out more about these characters, I want a reason to care about them later on. Like, give them a good moment or good fight against one of our characters, you know, something like that. When I say one of our characters, of course, I'm referring to the Straw Hats or anybody on that allied force right there trying to defeat Big Mom. But we have that, you know, sibling, the sister or whatever, and it seems as though she wants to be really close to Katakuri. Like, it looks like Oda is being fallen victim into that really creepy shit of, and I mean, it didn't go really that far, thankfully, yet, but Oda is putting in that little sibling nastiness, you know what I'm saying? A little bit of incest, wincest, as they say, because it was kind of like creepy in a way, the way she was like acting like if he's the popular guy in school and she's really trying to get close. So hopefully Oda doesn't go too far with that. Oda's never been known for that, because, you know, he likes for his stuff to be mainstream. He wants One Piece to be right next to Disney in a way. So yeah, well, not that he wants to, but it's promoted that way, you know, Toei Animation, so on and so forth. But we have that in the beginning of the chapter. I was really curious, because honestly I must have just been out of the loop and not paying attention, that I was wondering if this was going to be anything interesting regarding, like, you know, Luffy and Katakuri, especially when I opened up the chapter and it started off with random absolute fodder characters talking that I didn't give a shit about. I was like, oh no, maybe I haven't heard about this chapter because maybe it was boring or something, but no, it was just, I was out of the loop because they included something that I've been, you know, really excited about. Again, the Luffy versus Katakuri stuff. Also, it got even deeper into the explanation. I think Oda's really been on a Hunter x Hunter binge when it comes to this fight, because he's getting pretty intricate with this. It's really diving into more of how Luffy is continuing to take on this onslaught, which I want to say this is top 5 ass whoopings of all time that Luffy has taken in One Piece. Okay, I don't remember another ass whooping that Luffy took that was this bad where he was bleeding out. I mean, the Rob Lucci fight, which I've constantly throughout talking about Luffy versus Katakuri with the first fight and then this, you know, rematch that they're having, even though it's a very quick rematch or whatever. But, you know, I've constantly compared it to Luffy versus Rob Lucci, because that was a really awesome fight, and this fight so far has provided just that awesomeness. So I've constantly compared it, but I can't even say like Luffy bled out this much and was this at a disadvantage in the Lucci fight as, you know, with this fight. It's ridiculous. Luffy has taken nothing but L's. I mean, he got a couple of hits in early on with the distracting thing, but he's taking nothing but L's. But we have seen improvement in all of this, so it's not just a meaningless, like, hey, you want to see one of your favorite characters get their butt kicked? Look right here. It's not that at all. It's more so like, hey, he's taking a really bad ass whipping, but he's getting something out of it, because between those lines of foreshadowing, when Luffy was talking to, I believe it was Brule, or just talking out loud, and Brule was overhearing, where he was talking about, man, I wish I could see a little bit of the future too. Luffy is starting to do just that. We're getting it from the point of view of Katakuri, so I thought that was a nice way to display that. I think Oda was just kind of playing around, which Oda is an artful guy, especially, you know, you're almost 900 chapters deep of your series. You're gonna want to play around. I think he likes to play around with narration and kind of how it's being told and from what point of view. We get it from a brand new sibling, well, not brand new, but like, you know, we haven't really focused. And just quickly, I gotta say, how old is Pudding? If this, well, I think it's been said that Pudding is like 15 or 16, or I want to say, I thought she was 18 or something, but like, Pudding is young, because if this sibling is like the 33rd sibling or some shit like that, and her age, like, nah, Pudding gotta be young as hell. Holy shit, when I thought of it for a second. Which I guess you gotta look at it like, it's not gonna be real worldish with how long Big Mom is probably carrying these kids or whatever, but it's still kind of making me look at it like, how old is Pudding? Like, whoa, Oda, again, kind of where you going with this, you know what I'm saying? First you're doing this, and then I'm just saying, maybe Pudding might be a little bit too young to be playing marriage here. Which, holy shit, I think this chapter was the chapter where Big Mom was gonna showcase why she's a Yonko, because myself included and the fandom, a lot of people have talked about, is Big Mom worth it? Is she really the shit? But anyway, you know, Big Mom has been talked about as if, like, maybe she's even a scrub, you know what I'm saying? Some people have hinted that Luffy could have already taken her out with ease before getting tired at her peak and shit like that. And I think this showcased her shit right here, where her homie, the soul, was humongous right here, like a sun, and like even Jinbei was like, even the ocean can't put that shit out. It is insane. This is getting to heading up those Dragon Ball Z-esque type of scale fights, and I'm looking at it like, imagine if we're at this scale, add another 5 years, we're gonna be throwing around fucking suns or some shit, and it's gonna make stuff like Marineford feel a little bit, because like hockey does that as well, maybe a little bit less credible in certain regards, just because it's like, okay, if these characters could do that, why weren't they doing that shit at Marineford? You could argue they just didn't really want to destroy everything, because there were innocent people, and, you know, Whitebeard, at the end of the day, he could have ratified the world. He's the man that could have shaped the world, because, or destroyed the world for that matter, because his powers were just so astronomical and radical. So yeah, that could be the explanation, but it's still kind of like, okay, well, what about hockey? Why the ornament? We never seen any of them have it during the Whitebeard War. There's an opportunity for Oda to explain. There's also an opportunity for a big plot hole that a lot of people call out in One Piece, which I do think will be explained at some given point. Maybe Luffy will ask that question, and that's why Shanks didn't use the ornament hockey when the shark bit his arm off. You know, that's a big question in the fandom. A lot of people ask that. I know I'm kind of trailing off, but there was some point that led me in this way, and I kind of want to talk about this regardless. And, you know, there's gonna be some theories out there or whatever, but like, hopefully it does get explained why Shanks didn't use the ornament hockey, and it's not just like, hey, well, Oda didn't think of it at the time, so yeah, kind of like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 3 with the whole cough and how Dio survived shit. That was straight bullshit. Like, doesn't make any sense, but alrighty. And I mean, I've never seen, like, honestly, there were certain aspects of this chapter when Chopper was in Monster Point that reminded me again, and I think Whole Cake has really brought that magic back of stuff that I loved from pre-time skip One Piece. It feels dangerous when Chopper has to go Monster Point, and you almost feel like crying for the damn motherfucker, because like, you know, it's so bad if he's going Monster Point and just giving it his all, thinking that he could do something, and even saying like, yo, Big Mom, I could go in this form and grab you, and at least I could jump down and take you with me, or some shit like that. That's when you're just throwing anything at the wall and hoping it sticks. And when One Piece, the Straw Hat characters, are in those type of sticky situations, that's when I feel it the most. So I absolutely love this chapter. I felt this was a damn great way to start the year. Luffy versus Katakuri. Luffy can now see a little bit more into the future. He's gushing out blood every which way. It's getting close to the point where he really needs to turn the tables and completely either activate a new gear or get into an awakening or something, because this is getting out of hand. He's lost too much blood. He's getting his ass kicked. Something he's got to give. The turning point has to come soon, and I'm looking forward to it, but kind of curious, many different aspects. I know I'm all over the place with this, but one, what do you think about the Luffy versus Katakuri fight? How is Luffy going to turn tables, awakening his devil fruit, or Gear 5th coming to the rescue? Like, what is it going to take for Luffy to turn the tables on Katakuri? What do you think about how Oda is slowly crafting this as a big ass whipping, but a training in and of itself for Luffy to see into the future a little bit more? Kind of thoughts on that. And also, what do you think about the whole thing of like the, hey, Oda shouldn't take these many breaks? Stop it, let him take his breaks. I mean, this chapter again came through, and there's a lot more I'm sure that I forgot to mention, but from what I remember, those were some of the things that I really thought stood out about the chapter. And your overall thoughts, best thing about the chapter, do you think this was a great way to start off 2018? Again, another Charlotte family member in there. Let's see what she does. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and stalk my Facebook to get more when the video ends. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life, boy. Bow. Have an awesome day.